Well, this isn't the video I thought I'd be making today. Hello everyone, my name is John from Dragon Mind, where we discover our best selves through gaming. And today's video might be a little all over the place, so please bear with me. It's been a while since I last uploaded a video like this, and that's because I've been tinkering with my own TTRPG system, Swiftguard, a take of 5e with an alternate approach to character creation, action economy, and adventure design. In the description below, I'll have linked Playtest Packet 1.2 and Playtest Adventure 1, so if you're interested, you can check out the system for yourself, and you can maybe even join the Swiftguard Discord, also linked in the description below. Originally, I was planning on releasing an overview video today covering those two packets, but then something caught my attention in my YouTube feed, which really made me just want to talk about this topic, because it hits on why I wanted to design my own system and create content in the first place. It all started with an interview between Colby from D4 Deep Dive and Todd Kenreck, the unfortunately former face of the official D&D YouTube channel. In it, Colby asks Todd about his first time playing D&D, and that part of the story was pretty normal. Todd recounted how he was on a family vacation and his older brother GM'd for him a one-on-one game, with the usual experience of taking over 2 hours just to create a character only to play for like 10 minutes. But then the tone shifted when he started recounting another part of his life, one that was obviously much more painful to talk about. I recommend listening to it yourself. Both parts of this two-part interview are also going to be linked in the description below. I have a running bibliography for this video. This eventually led to a discussion between Todd and Colby about D&D and, more broadly, TTRPGs as an escape. As Todd put it, having just gone through this traumatic experience in his life, D&D served as this window of time where he didn't have to be this incredibly intense version of himself. And how, by its very nature, you kind of can't help but become friends with the other people around the table. Unless, of course, your table is one of those D&D horror stories. Todd's experience really resonated with me, because I've seen similar situations firsthand. I don't think there's a better example than the lockdown period of 2020. At the time, the world was, and still is, a very fractured place. I just had a conversation with my family about how, when my sister and I were kids, the world didn't feel quite so combative. Now, what made 2020 different than, say, today, is that everybody was stuck in one place. They couldn't help but ruminate over their anxieties and frustrations, leading to, at the very least, mental health struggle all around. And for many of us, TTRPGs were our great escape. It was a few hours where we could not only connect with other people, but it was a time where we could create and feel like we were building towards something, instead of just spinning in circles. In fact, the best D&D campaign I ever ran, Gearus, which also served as a kind of alpha playtest for a lot of game mechanics that show up in Swiftguard, I don't think would have been possible in any other circumstance. My players and I had nothing to do besides make the best D&D campaign we could. Even before that, though, I was already starting to see what a benefit TTRPGs could be. From 2017 to 2019, which, looking back, is not as long a period as it felt like when I was in it, I was a professional game master at a family education center. I remember one kid in particular, outside of TTRPGs, had a lot of difficulty making friends. They were really introverted and soft-spoken, but when we sat down at a D&D table, they came alive. They would often lead the party, speak up when it came to strategy, and had a good mix of mechanical knowledge and roleplay-like ability. When the center unfortunately closed, just before 2020, Their mom actually reached out to me, and she said she didn't realize how important D&D was for their mental health, as the kids' grades actually started to slip because D&D ended up being such an empowering place for them. Thankfully, they found another group and are currently doing really, really well. Another individual I was a fellow player with thought they were straight until they roleplayed a gay character. Then, turns out, after having a realization, the role-playing at the table ended up being a sort of practice of who they wanted to be versus who they thought they should be. That ended up being very transformative for the next period of their life. These are the kind of experiences that made me fall in love with TTRPGs in the first place. While other forms of art can be transformative, TTRPGs have a quality that just kind of hits differently. Whereas other forms of art may transform you by interacting with the finished product, like watching a movie, playing a video game, reading a book. With TTRPGs, it's the process of creation that's so transformative. It's the fact that you're collaborating with other humans in real time. And the final product really just serves as an artifact of the fun that you had already had. You're not looking to get to the destination. It's really about the journey. Now, when Todd and Colby are talking about D&D as an escape, I don't think that the tone is about them running away from their problems. That term, escape, is something that I realize I'm personally really sensitive about because professionally, I've been in a lot of situations where a problem has snowballed because somebody ran away from a problem or procrastinated on it so that it becomes a much bigger deal than it has to be. But rather, when they're using the term escape, I'm getting more the sense that it's like they're giving their mind time to rest as if it were a sore muscle after a workout. Anyone with a modicum of fitness knowledge will tell you that the key to maximizing your gains is by having quality recovery. It's about the quality of the nutrition you feed your body, as well as the time you take to rest your muscles before stimulating them again. And that's kind of how I think of TTRPGs. Now, that being said, as a quick digression, my day job is that of a professional martial arts instructor. There have been times, both as a martial artist and as a game master, I've had a student or a player say something along the lines of, "This is my therapy." To which I still want to adamantly clarify, the benefits can definitely be therapeutic, and these are not substitutes for therapy. To stick with my fitness analogy for a second, fitness, believe it or not, has a lot of health benefits. Not only can it help you strengthen your body and do things that normally you wouldn't be able to, it can help relieve pain and acts as a form of empowerment that goes beyond healing. That being said, if you break a bone, the solution shouldn't be to go to the gym. You need to go to a professional, a doctor that can set it properly and prescribe either medication or behaviors that will help you recover in a healthy way. I actually have a book behind me, Role-Playing Therapy by Megan A. Connell, which I'll link in the description below, that talks about how professional therapists can use TTRPGs like D&D as tools for therapy, but it shouldn't be a substitute for getting professional help if that's what's going to be most beneficial. That being said, to cycle back to fitness not only offers ways to help relieve us of pain or some kind of discomfort by strengthening our bodies, it also empowers us beyond the situations where we are injured. Again, as an example, as a martial arts instructor, one of the most powerful skills that I teach is breath work. From a purely statistical standpoint, it is much more probable that someone is going to have an uncomfortable conversation with a coworker than it is that they're going to get attacked and need to effectively strike or kick somebody. While yes, those other things also have their place and value, the breath work is the empowerment that allows them to navigate most situations with grace and confidence. And from a more mental, emotional place, I feel like TTRPGs can kind of be like a gym in the same way that a normal gym works for your body. During lockdown, one of my players, who is a fellow professional martial arts instructor at our dojo, who is also a self-proclaimed personal growth nerd, dove into TTRPGs for this reason. She recognized that there were some mindset skills that she wanted to work on. So she would create characters with specific personalities that would allow her to take perspectives that were unlike her own in order to just practice perspective taking. This would give her insights that would not only improve her professional relationship with myself and others, it really helped her personally, and she had a lot of fun doing it along the way. It didn't have the same weight that a lot of other kind of spiritual empowerment activities have. And I believe, even if you're listening to what I'm saying and you think a lot of it is hooey, this is just part of TTRPGs. It's the role-playing part of tabletop role-playing game. The idea that you're role-playing, even if it's a personality that's a lot like you, it's in a situation that's probably not. And as you roleplay more, either by taking different perspectives or putting yourself in different situations, you discover more about yourself. And you have a choice of using those insights to help improve your life at the table and beyond. I think Todd and Colby are both excellent examples of this. Todd in particular talked about how he was in a bad situation. For him, at that time, D&D served as an escape, but eventually its benefits were so powerful that it was tied into his professional path. This empowerment, this idea that table culture can bleed out into the rest of your life. That's the reason I still love TTRPGs, and I designed Swiftguard with that in mind. And that's what I mean when I say this channel is about discovering your best self through gaming. So now I want to hear what you have to say. Do you agree that TTRPGs are inherently empowering? Or do you think everything I just said was pure nonsense? Is Swiftguard a system that you'd be interested playtesting? Or are you kinda done with 5e and want to find something that's way different? Let me know in the comments down below. Remember to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. All those little things make a huge difference. Have an awesome day, and remember, your story matters. Bye-bye now.